What's going on, Yugi peoples? It's your boy, the Almighty, back once again. We're doing a kind of regular-ish upload schedule with some more. Okay. It's still pretty good content. Unfortunately, I won't spoil how it ends, but you should be able to detect that from the tone of my voice. Anyway, this is a live duel. I'm still playing Dark Worlds, Menace Gang. Let's get it. Versus my buddy Darren here. He plays he plays ABCs, like that Union Hanger machine thing. And here's the funny part. Like looking back at this, I remember, oh yeah, we used to duel like some time ago, and I totally forgot what he was playing. He rolls a 7, I roll an 8, and normally, if you go first with the deck, you're supposed to win. You set up like turn skips and you just set up everything, right? But then, when you break, you break. Anyway, that leads into what I was talking about. So I completely forgot what he was playing, and I figured, maybe he's playing something different. He's gone back to maybe the meta, because his brother plays the meta, so I figured maybe they were just playing it together, like Ishizu tournaments, right? So I completely forgot. So you're about to see me make some like unbelievably ridiculous plays, and well, that's not going to be good. It's not going to be good, and you're going to witness that. You're going to witness that. Anyway, so off the Chupacabra, I hit the Ceruli, which is like nice. It's like cool. My opponent's going to make me discard a card, but nope, Bestialed. Not nice, to say the least. But it is what it is. You just got to play through it. So you just play the Mothman, and it's like, okay, let's see, try to do something again. Now here, we're about to witness an unfortunate interaction. So Grapha gets hit, right? Mothman hits the board, I get the draw. Now here's the problem. Grapha's effect to pop, like target to pop, is mandatory. And when that Bestial leaves the field, he can send a card to the graveyard. So, he sends the Mothman, and it's like, well, now what do I do? Well, obviously, here I am thinking, and I decide, alright, cool. We'll just normal summon Snow, overlay. And I'm like, he's got a Bestial, he's Shizu tournaments, gotta be. But I was wrong. So yeah, I decided to go for, like, I spent a little bit of time thinking about it, and had my own decision process. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? We'll just make Dweller pass and hope Dweller kind of skips their turn. It did not. It did not. Sadly, it did not. So, I'm making Dweller, I'm passing, and I'm looking at this like, okay, you know what? This could be worse. It could not. It could not have been any worse. Anyway, get your OTS packs from playing. Speaking of, normally I'm like, cursed with a gambling addiction. You already know what it is. But I've been collecting all the OTS packs for like the past couple months, because I'm like gonna crack them all in one setting, and it's like, wow, that's pretty cool, and it's insane. Like I literally have them just chilling in my room, and I'm like, wow, the normal urge that I'd have to just open these packs and gamble and hope that you get some good cards or make some great money, it's not here right now. I've managed to transcend that, and that feels good. Anyway, so here he plays Union Hanger, and I'm like, what? And then the adventure package. So yeah, right, adventure token, Griffin Rider, Draco back, etc., etc. This is like, I hope I don't have to explain this to you, because I honestly don't know it that well myself. I just know that it's a very common thing. It's something that you see all the time. Anyway, so chain 1 Hanger, chain 2 adventure. The adventure is going to add him the Draco back, which is a compulse, and then Union Hanger is going to let him equip an appropriate Union thing. You get Union Driver, so Union Hanger says, you can't special summon the monster that you just equipped. But Hanger says you can banish it to equip another appropriate monster. So you kind of like dodge the Hanger restriction, let's say. Anyway, I'm looking at all this happen. I'm like, whoa, he's banishing cards? That's kind of like Flunder. I don't like Flunder. I don't like playing against Flunder. I did play Flunder once in the Master Duel, what was it, No Extra Deck Festival or something like that. And honestly, I can understand why people play Flunder. It's kind of fun. I'm not going to lie to you. Because, I don't believe in lying. Actually, I don't think that's the right sentence. I don't lie anymore, technically. And let's just end it at that. Anyway, so he's just going to be activating this other, what is that? The Griffin Rider, right? So just gets Griffin Rider, which is just an Omni negate. So I'm thinking, wow, even if I survive the turn, I don't see anything that I could top deck. But hey, we'll see. We'll play through it. All right. There I'm just talking like, wow, I thought you were just playing Ishizu Tournaments. I was wrong. Whatever. He goes into IP. And then he decides to go for his boss monster, banishing the 3 to get the big boy out. And at this point, it's like I'm staring down way too much damage. Right, that's already like 6k just from the Griffin Rider and his boss monster. So I'm like, okay, well, I have Dweller, so things could be worse. But yeah, Draco back. So at that point, I'm like, well, let's see. And, Homeboy's doing a lot of thinking here. A lot of thinking. So, yeah, it's like, cool. Yeah, there it is. The Dweller's gone. And then it's like, is that game? And now we're like doing math, which I can read, can't do math. It's kind of the trade-off. And then, this was interesting, yeah, because he wanted to do the bestial thing, but it's a quick effect only if I control a monster. So what he should have done was he should have bestialed, then used Draco back to bounce the Dweller. But I mean, yeah, I draw a card, top deck, it's like, cool, game 2. There's no need to even put like a life point counter up on this one. It's just, it was fast. It's like, say no more. It was very disappointing, however, because, I managed to win the dice roll, but then I lost the game, which honestly is not supposed to happen. This is supposed to be whenever you go first, you have a 100% win rate, and when you go second, it's a 50-50. Which, don't worry, we're improving the ability we have to draw cards we need. Simply draw the out, and that will up that ratio to like 100%, or as close to 100 as possible. Anyway, here we go. We'll activate Mothman effect. Gamble on it. Rolls a 6. Roll again. 4. Cool. Mothman is going to summon, and I keep forgetting that I can summon them in attack position. Like there's no restriction that says they have to be in defense. Anyway, so activate the beige effect in the graveyard to special summon itself, because he might have another bestial or something. But I'm kind of feeling really good about this one, right? Because the hand that I have here is actually kind of cracked, as you will all witness momentarily. So we'll overlay, this time, Dugaris, bro. I was making the decision between Dugaris and Dweller in game 1, because I didn't really have much to go off of for the Dugaris. I'm like, I'd have to sacrifice my draw, and it felt kind of foolish. But now that I know that he can just do what he does, I'm like, say no more. We're going straight for Dugaris, draw 2, gonna have to discard a card now. Well, yeah, I'm doing a lot of thinking there. Honestly, probably too much thinking. You should start playing on instinct. Anyway, so Snow Effect to search. The effect to search was good, so we'll search... Ooh, the fusion spell. Interesting. Which is probably, wise, right? You get to play it a little safer by getting your negate out early. So yeah, you fusion summon. It's like, cool. Discarding these 2 cards. And bang. Now technically I have a negate. So Grapha effect, target to pop, and then Rainbow effect to search. Alright, so it's an overwrite, which is honestly so much better than a negate in my opinion, because it just lets you go off. Assuming you know how to play. And honestly, I'm still learning how to pilot the deck. It's very, very convoluted, to say the least. And yeah, this is what I was talking about. Like, I feel like maybe I shuffle a little too much, or like I should learn how to shuffle faster. Anyhow, we'll use Nessie effect. Cool, gamble, we don't stop. Still have our normal summon, very important to remember that. Rolls a 4. Cool, works for me. Nessie summons, resolves to draw 1, new chain, brow, draw again. So cool. So we'll just play Gates. Gates effect, we'll banish the brow. Discard, Silva, draw, new chain, Silva. Cool. Summons. We'll bounce and bounce again. And it's very important to remember like zones and stuff. So yeah, I was just explaining like how that worked. Beautiful part of that, doesn't activate, so I'm chilling. I can do that under Dweller, bro. Anyhow, we'll play Archive because Pot of Greed. A session effect, add back to hand, discard. So now we have new chains, right? The Silva to special summon and the Archive to draw. So I'll discard a card, draw 1, draw 2, Silva will special summon, and then the Rainbow to give me a search. Now, I used to play the Beginning of the End, which I thought was a cool card just because like you're just drawing cards, and I just like drawing cards. I'm going to be real with you. It's just fun resolving those effects to draw cards. Like, honestly, sometimes just getting effects off is more fun than actually winning because it just feels like you're doing something, which honestly is a terrible, terrible mindset to have. You should be more focused on winning. Like, if you take that approach to life, that's just keeping yourself occupied with busy work or like fun work versus actually doing something productive and meaningful. So that's obviously a mindset shift that I need to take. But that's probably getting a bit too deep for a children's card game. I would strongly recommend that I Saryuja here, just because greed, again, always. Alright, so let's do that. Or, you know, you can kind of make it safe, just do a 4 negate Appaloosa and call that a day. Right, it's an option, you can do it. But I don't want to. At least I hope I don't, you know? I'm hoping we take the greedy play. Ideally, we would have a Cerulean hand, and then we can just kind of like bounce the Silva for the Rainbow and do a hand loop. But we didn't have that right now. So yeah, we go Saryuja. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to leave some cards behind. I mean, I guess if I had a pen and paper and I started taking notes, I'd be able to give you guys more information about what I left behind and why I did it. But we saw that I pulled up a Catalyzer, which is probably something I'm going to keep. It's a very useful card. You can either put something big on the field for no reason, or you can get your discard effects to go off. It's a very interesting tech. It's definitely mandatory for playing Dark Worlds. The question always comes down to ratios. How many of this card do you want to play? I personally believe 1 is sufficient. 2 might be too many, right? You don't want to see them both in your hand. And it's a hard once per turn, so. Now we still have our normal, and now Saryuja has given us an additional special. So we'll discard Genta, search Gates. Oh, I haven't used Genta yet. Very nice. So I'll play the other copy of Gates. And like you can see, the deck is almost like half its size. Right? It's ridiculous. And then, yeah, because I'm relatively certain I didn't let him cut it, so we're just going to let him cut it again. So we get the draw. And then chains, Silva, and then I messed up because Genta exists, and I just forgot to resolve Genta. I don't even know if I declared the activation of Genta's effect, but this is a mistake, and I noticed that I'm like, wait a second. Right, see, and then if I declared the effect of Genta, then obviously I would have to resolve it and I can't forget about it. But I don't believe I declared the effect of the Genta, which is the problem. Anyhow, so this kind of works out. We have a what, a 3.3k Grapha on the board. It's pretty nice. And just so many cards in hand that it's honestly kind of terrifying. It almost makes you feel like you can play Dark World Grimoire, which don't. If you guys are playing Dark Worlds, do not actually play that card. It will never work. So yeah, there we go. Catalyzer effect, Catalyzer and Rainbow. If that works, we get the search off the Rainbow, and it's good. So here we go. Here we are using Catalyzer's effect for the Rainbow. And now here's what I'm thinking, like, you know what? I'll just put the Rainbow on the board. This is exactly what I was talking about. Because honestly, I'm out of things to search, right? I play only 2 Grapha and 2 Silva. So I had nothing else to search. I'm like, cool, I'll use Catalyzer to put the Rainbow on the board. I still have Saryuja, and then I use Saryuja to drop the other Grapha so that I can go into the Coach King. And then, yeah, we'll just use Coach King. 1, 2, and 3. I'm pretty sure my opponent just took some burn damage at this point. But, yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to, like, reveal the card. I probably have to reveal it, don't remember. But yeah, a little misplay there. Didn't notice that until now. Play another copy of Gates, banish, discard, draw. Any second now, buddy. And then the Silva. Oh yeah, I think I was thinking if I had to allow him to cut. And no, because we drew off the Coach King, it's good. So yeah, there we go. At some point, I do make a mistake with the danger effects. Because, as you can see, I put the Silva and the Rainbow down on the thing, because it's supposed to be common information. And then right here, when I activate a danger effect, I forget that they exist. But we'll catch that in a second, and it'll be fine. So as you can see, Nessie gives me the draw. And I'm like, wait, that can't happen. I forgot those 2 were in my hand as well. So we have to redo it. So it's all right. And then it's like, yeah, just pick, bro. I got tons of cards. That's like, which one is that? It looks like Rainbow. So Nessie resolves to give me the draw. I don't have any targets for the Rainbow to add to my hand. Appaloosa is now live, right? The Grapha, the Coach King, the Nessie, and the Saryuja. I still have my normal, and I also have the discard effect off of Archive. So, like, when this deck pops off, like, this was supposed to be game 1, right? I won the dice roll, I go game 1, I set up something he can't get over. Game 2, chances are I lose, but, you know, you side in all your board breakers, like your tactics, your Dark Ruler No Mores, etc., etc. And then it's like, cool, like, you go game 2 knowing they're going to make you go second, and you play for that. And it's like, cool, whatever you set up, bro, I'll just crack it. But unfortunately, sometimes it just doesn't work that way. So, yeah, we got 6. Roll the dice. Cool. I'm now going to be drawing more cards. Tsuchinoko resolves to draw 1, and then Brow resolves and draws another. And at this point, I think I'm holding the Nekomane King in hand. Just have to double check that, I suppose. Yeah, you know, maybe I should just be talking to fill the silence. But yeah, here it is. Now we're using our normal summon. Like, there we go. We normal summon Snow. Right? Discard the Ceruli. Ceruli resolves to special. Gives me a discard of the Silva. Silva resolves. And then because he made me discard it, I'm ripping 2 cards from his hand. And it's like just explaining what's going on. Because, well, yes, we know that the Ceruli is my card. Because it was on his field when it did that, it's working out that way. So he's going to activate his Bestial, targeting the Silva to banish. I will chain with my Grapha to the Bestial to override its effect. So Silva is chain 1, the Magma Nut is chain 2, the Overlord is chain 3. And then we have chain 4, targeting the Silva again, to which I chain Appaloosa to negate. So that doesn't special summon itself because he has to banish to be able to special, which if you read the card it says. So yes, so the Bestial, this card in this case, what it would have done, right, is it targets the card in the graveyard, banishes it, and then special summons itself. Now targeting is cost. What the Overlord does is after your opponent pays the cost for whatever it is that they paid, the effect changes to your opponent discards a card. So he targeted a card in my graveyard, and then the effect resolved to allow me to discard a card. So even if the Silva was banished somehow, it wouldn't have been able to summon itself because the effect is now a different effect. Anyway, so Silva, bounce for Rainbow, Snow, bounce for Grapha, right? And then zones, you have to figure out where you're placing them. I think I'm going to make Hope Harbinger. That's probably what I'm going to make. I'm not sure what the face downs could be. I believe that I may have sided in skill drain against him, but still don't know. So we use Zephyros effect, pay 400, bounce the gates, play gates again, use gates. At least I suspect that we're going to use gates. But like, see, now I have, my zones are all filled. Like I have no clue what else to go into. Right, so I guess I could overlay for Hope Harbinger, link 2 for Muckracker, and then Muckracker for something. That would fill up my zones. Now, we should remember that Homeboy has lost 2 cards, so he should have, 3 cards in hand? So now, it's just a little thinking, because it's very important what we do here, So yeah, we'll link 2... Or not? Oh, I guess we overlay first. Yes. But the thing is, I can link for the Muckracker. It's just the Reborn effect that locks me into Fiends. Which here we're going to link to. Go for Muckracker. Alright, targeting the Silva to Reborn, and then discarding another Silva. Okay. Bounce for Grapha, and then I guess we pass here. And then to his draw step, play Deck Devi, tributing a Silva. So all monsters with 1500 or less attack on the field, in his hand, and everything that he draws will now be destroyed. So I sided in Deck Devi. Very nice. So he'll chain the Magma Nut, the effect, targeting something, but I'm like, yeah, cool. I don't really care because I'm going to chain my Grapha. And it's like, cool, Grapha resolves. Nice, so I'll discard a Silva. Right? And then now we're resolving Deck Devi. So if it is 1500, then yeah, it's gone. And then Silva rips 2 cards. Doesn't even get a chance to get that evenly off. So I'm like, yeah, cool. That's nice. Game 3. And this is nice, right? Like, this is ideally what you're supposed to be doing. Sadly, it's not what happened game 1. I mean, if it did, we wouldn't have had to go to this game 3, which was honestly really, really disappointing for me. And, well, you'll see. You'll see. Because I think what's important here now is I have to learn how to side, right? I have to learn how to draw better, and I have to learn how to side better. And after I do that, then, yeah, we'll approach a 100% win rate. Now, yes, I know that the field spell zone is over there. I just prefer doing it like this so I can actually see it. And it just honestly kind of makes more sense. Like, Konami should do, like, a Master Rule 6 just so they can put the field zone there. You know, because it's like, oh, if you have a field center zone with a field center card, you might as well just put the field spell zone there. Makes kind of sense, you know. The center of the field is where the field spell is. Anyway, yeah, this is the Union Driver stuff. We've seen it. Literally game 1. So he's equipping something else. And then it's like, oh, cool. What now? Because I'm thinking, okay, you know what? This isn't so bad. As long as he doesn't get the Griffin Rider, this is not the worst thing in the world. Because the Griffin Rider, that's an Omni Negate, right? Which means if he stops me at the right point, then I can't really do anything. And sometimes this deck plays like heroes. It's like everything depends on a hero lives. They ash a hero lives, like, cool, I paid 4k life points for nothing. And sometimes this is like that as well, like resolving a gate or something like that. But that's not what happened here. Now this gadget is an important piece for him, according to some articles that I read. So if I played hand traps, like if I believed in them, then I would have stopped that here. Now this, like, what, Magician of Illusion or something? What, like, I have no idea why he's playing Magician Souls. That's probably some sort of interesting tech that he theorized. So yeah, he gets Magician Souls and does his thing. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but for some reason my dog is angry. It's barking at someone. But yeah, regardless, you know, we push on. If something is worth doing, it's worth doing poorly. Anyway, somehow he's drawn again. I don't really know. I mean, at this point, my heart's technically no longer into it because I know that going second and not knowing how to, like, side, it's very unlikely that, you know, we're going to go off. And looking back at the recording, he drew into the whole adventure thing. So there's the right, then he's going to get the this and the that and yada yada. And it'd be like that, man. Sometimes they just draw better than you. Nothing you can do about it. Yep, there's the Draco back. And he had Griffin Rider in hand, so there it is. Overlaying into Dweller. And he had to detach with Dweller to, I think it's supposed to set up his grave. At least that's what I think. I don't know why he did that. Anyway, so he bestialed his own thing to get a body on board so that he can make IP. Banish the 3 for his boss monster. And at this point, like, what am I looking at, right? IP is going to give him a new Link monster that cannot be destroyed by card effects. Griffin Rider is a negate, and his boss monster is a targeted banish. And technically, it tags out. Right? I'm looking at this, and I'm like, okay, I do have most of my going second cards. So we draw for turn. Standby phase Dweller. Cool. And then main phase, Genta to search. And the search is good. which I'm pretty sure I was trying to bait out the Griffin Rider, because I think I have like Tactics in hand and Dark Hole, which is like my board breakers. But yeah, I guess Homeboy was a bit too smart, saw through that. It'd be like that sometimes, you know? Anyway, so then he'll chain the IP to link summon. What's he going into? Into Appaloosa, 3 negate Appaloosa. So yeah, just staring at a board of negates. It's like, how am I supposed to break this? So it's like, cool, little tactics. He riders to negate. Perhaps what I should have done is I should have Dark Hold. He would have rider to negate. Then I do tactics. Then he chains his fusion, his boss monster. Then what? I would have drawn 2. I'm still under Dweller, I have to remember that. And yeah, Appaloosa can't be destroyed by card effects because it was made using IP. So he tags out his boss monster, right? And gets his 3 back on the field. Then Darkhold destroys them. And then they get their effects off from being destroyed. So, you know, it'd be like that sometimes, man. It'd be like that sometimes. Yeah, right now there's like this weather happening, you know, climate or what have you. And here I completely have forgotten that I'm still under Dweller. Which, man, not ideal. So this Tsushinoko, and then I'm like, if Tsushinoko gets discarded, I can special summon it, right? Yeah, so it's like, cool, I'll activate Tsushinoko, and it's like, oh wait, no, can't. Dweller. That's nice. That's not nice, this is very obviously sarcasm. Then we just make gates and pass. Three negate Appaloosa, and he's just going to be doing his things. And at this point, I'm like, there's no need to continue. Like, I already know that this is bad, right? I don't need anyone else to tell me that. But here it is, the adventure thing going off again. And I guess I could just be like, oh yeah, you know, it bricked. Oh well, what could I have done? But you know, that feels like cheating. Feels like cheating to me. You can't just always blame your losses on you having a bad hand. If you play it better, you can win every time. Anyway, there's his normal. It looks like he's linking. For Phoenix. What does Phoenix do? I thought Phoenix was a spin. No, Unicorn is a spin. Phoenix is a pop, right? Now he's gonna draw a card because it was co-linked. Cool. And there it is, right? The other copy of his boss monster. And staring down that, it's like, yep. Unfortunately, maybe I should just side a Battle Fader. But even if I did, he had Appaloosa, so it wouldn't have mattered. Wouldn't have mattered. Or would it? Right, because Appaloosa negates the activation of the effect. I will have to look this up. But yeah, at this point, it's like, yeah, this is very likely game. But, you know, did the courtesy of actually counting out the numbers. A 3 negate Appaloosa is enough. And well, that wraps it up, right? Oh my goodness, I was holding 2 gates in the hand. Yeah. Not ideal. But yeah, now it's just talking about like siding, because you have to figure out like what cards you're supposed to side. that. Anyway, in the meantime, hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember to like the video, share, interact in some way, and as always,
Konami sponsor me.